going back to like the Jezebel spirit, like manipulation.
You're saying that she had that Jezebel spirit. Just
Absolutely.
running around tossing it out to everybody. What do you think about women using their sex appeal to advance their career?
I think there's a line. Like, if you're objectively pretty, I do think there is pretty privilege. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I also believe that the Lord gave us a brain and our identity shouldn't be in how we look. It should be in first Christ, and then it should be in the work that we can do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how hard are we actually working and not being lazy, I feel like. So,
Yeah, like we are called to work, but also we're called to reflect this light of Christ in everything that we do.
mm-hmm.
And so he gives us clear characteristics of how we are supposed to be. Everybody goes to the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, patience, kindness, self control, like those things that you should be exemplifying all the time. And if you aren't, walking towards the light, reflecting that light, well, then you're going to tend to do the opposite of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Be, maniacal, right? Have no self control, express hatred instead of love. And that's kind of what we see in a lot of these stories that have come out over the last, year, where, people, all of their darkness or everything that they've done in the dark is starting to come to light.
Yeah.
And that's because, well, they were never striving towards the light. It was never
Yeah.
covered by the blood. And so,
It's like, in this instance, it's like two choices. You're either going to be a Jezebel or you're going to be like a Proverbs 31 woman. So,
yeah, the choice is yours. I guess
yeah.
that's like the spectrum. It's like, where are you and where are you
Mm-hmm.
headed towards?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So that brings us to our last and final question. And is, well, who is the real victim in this whole situation? Because she is playing victim.
Mm-hmm.
She's claiming that she is the victim. And I didn't even know the hairstylist is probably actually a victim
Yeah.
in this whole thing. But I believe there's also another victim. What do you believe?
Okay. Who's the real victim? Are you talking between Joy and Mr. Dixon or
I'm just saying, as part of this whole situation.
whole
So,
situation?
yeah, you're
Okay.
looking at the whole thing. Who do you think is a victim?
Oh, well, the hairstylist, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else, I just feel like you play games, you get played.
Mm,
I feel like,
no, that's fair.
because I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, or someone in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Dixon was like married or something, or something. I'm pretty sure. And she was married. So it's like, I mean, you get what you get.
Yeah, you're
You
just
reap
playing
what
with
you
fire.
sow.
Yeah. Go around smoke, you're going to get that fire. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, here's what I think. I think that the real victims are all the women and the young girls who look up to her as a trailblazer for success.
Oh, that's good.
And the reason I believe that is because she is one of those, women that, came up and was very visible and almost like a beacon of light for, women who wanted to do sports commentary. And there's a lot of people that have said she's, not very talented, doesn't really, it's kind of obvious she doesn't really know or care about the sport. And there's some unbelievable women sports commentators, right? But let's just be real. There's not going to be as many women commentators as men commentators because men just care about sports and competition just, across the board at a much larger scale. And so it is going to be a minority game for women because it's just how we are wired as, as each sex. All the girls that look up to her and like, yeah, I wish I could be that. And then they find this out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, well, now I can't really follow her path. Maybe I want to get to where she, has gotten, but I can't do all that. And so now it's like, no, you didn't really create a path. Now it's like, what do I do? Right? And also, it's almost like she set the precedent because she didn't have any standards and boundaries
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, women, if you want to get to a certain point, if you want to be on these shows, surrounded by these guys being a moderator, well, you kind of just got to throw it around. You got to toss it out to everybody, right? Just
Do
him,
whatever you can
him.
do to
Yeah.
get to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think that is the real travesty of this whole thing is that she didn't set a good example when she had a prime opportunity to set an amazing example.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Alan said she need to go to jail. Too many women get away with that ish.
Quality.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of some of the content creators I've watched that are they're very adamant about, hey, if a woman accuses a guy of doing something and it turns out to be false, then they should just get the same punishment that the guy was going to get, because it's not fair for you to basically slander and libel this man who's worked hard for his success and earned what he's earned, and then you just break down his reputation, taking money and work away from him, and you basically, after all is said and done, just get to go about your life like without any consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And all you really did was just accuse him. It's very sad. So that's why, men, you got to watch what you're doing, you got to watch who you're around, and you also absolutely got to watch the moves that you make, especially within, your business dealings, because if you don't, you could fall right into the same trap
Yeah.
of getting accused. And hopefully these none of the guys, actually did any took advantage of, her in any way. But if they did, they should suffer the consequences. But she should also suffer the consequences if she is, wrong. I think there's a difference between using your feminine essence, inspo from God, and using your sexuality, inspo from the world.
Mm.
Yeah. What do you think the difference in those two things are?
Mm. Well, okay. So yeah. So I think femininity, as Miracle said, inspo from God, like that's something just innately given to us. And as we pursue the Lord, we just naturally grow into that more and more. And whereas sexuality, like she says, from the world, that is going back to like the Jezebel spirit, like manipulation and like doing whatever you can to like get the man to do whatever you want. And it's just like kind of feeding into lust in a sense. Whereas femininity is like the opposite.
So you're saying that she had that Jezebel spirit.
Yes, absolutely.
Just running around tossing it out to everybody.
Yeah, no
Anybody
doubt.
who want it. If you want it, come and get it.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely, Imani. She makes every other woman look crazy in that field.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's like, well, if she did that and positioned
else did
herself,
it?
and she's not even the most popular, like who else is out there? And that's really sad because I would like to believe that some of the ones that are really good and really about sports that I actually enjoy listening to, I would want to believe that they have integrity. Now you never know. You're always going to root for people that you have some sort of affinity towards, but who knows? That is a good point, Amani.